Baltimore General, an episodic medical drama. Written by Blue Bolton. Episode 1, Transfer of Care, Chapter 7. The pine-scented car couldn't mask the sour undertone as Gavin squirmed in the passenger seat. Ms. Patterson, call me Yvonne, steered with one hand, cigarette dangling from the other, through the cracked window. First home visit? Gray ash scattered in the wind as she flicked her wrist. Yeah. Gavin tugged at his tie, the fabric suddenly restrictive against his throat. 2 vertical inches of polyester weren't going to hide his inexperience or calm his jittery nerves. Well, environmental factors matter in cases like this. Yvonne took a final hungry drag before launching the cigarette into oblivion. Especially with the bleeding issues. Could be lead pipes, mold, all kinds of nasty stuff these landlords don't fix. Gavin's knuckles whitened around his clipboard. Just 14 days into his hospital internship, and they'd paired him with Baltimore General's most feared social worker. Yvonne Patterson's reputation preceded her. 20 years of experience had hardened her into someone who dug deeper than anyone wanted, immune to the whispers that followed in her wake. The attending thinks it's the medication, Gavin ventured. Dr. Carter, right? New one? A dismissive snort escaped her. Doctors always think it's the medication or some exotic disease, never the simple stuff like kid lives next to a chemical plant or family can't afford to fix the asbestos ceiling. Their sedan crawled down a narrow street where weathered brick row houses stood shoulder to shoulder. Jordan Hall's home announced itself with peeling blue trim and concrete steps rising to a modest porch. Remember, Yvonne killed the engine, you're observing. Take notes on the environment, not just what the mother says. Look for things they don't mention. Got it. Sweat bloomed on his palms as he wiped them against his slacks. And don't touch anything without gloves, not because of them, but because of you. Last thing we need is contaminating evidence. The word hung between them like an accusation. They weren't police, but Yvonne's tone transformed this visit into something that felt more like a crime scene investigation. Marla Hall greeted them in Raven's gear and sweatpants, her eyes bloodshot and hollowed by exhaustion. Youth still clung to her features, surprisingly so, for the mother of a 16-year-old, with worry etching its only permanent mark between her brows. Ms. Hall, I'm Yvonne Patterson from Baltimore General Social Services, and this is Gavin Moore, one of our hospital interns. We called earlier about doing a home assessment. Marla's body retreated into the doorframe as she nodded. Yes, thank you for coming. I don't understand why you need to see our home when Jordan's still in the ICU. It's standard procedure for unexplained medical emergencies. Yvonne's response slid out smoothly. Especially with minors, we're trying to help the doctors understand what might have caused Jordan's condition. The living room told its own story of budget-conscious furnishings arranged with care, not neglect. Jordan's life timeline hung on the walls, photographs charting his evolution from a beaming toddler to a solemn teenager whose eyes never quite met the camera. Please sit down. Marla's hand fluttered toward the couch. Can I get you anything? Water? We're fine, thank you. Yvonne's tablet materialized from her bag. Now, I understand Jordan has autism and has been taking medication for migraines. While Yvonne launched into her formal questioning, Gavin's gaze wandered. Library books on neurodiversity and alternative therapies crowded the coffee table. Through the kitchen doorway, clean counters gleamed, dishes aired in a rack, and glass bottles stood sentinel on the windowsill. Marla's voice pulled him back. He's been on Vascatril for about 8 months. It was the only thing that helped with the migraines. Before that, we tried everything. Diet changes, biofeedback, even Botox injections. And who prescribed the Vascatril? Yvonne's pen hovered. Dr. Winters at the Neurodevelopmental Clinic. She's been wonderful with Jordan. Gavin scribbled the name before asking, has Jordan had any changes in routine lately? New foods, activities, anything different? Jordan thrives on routine. Marla shook her head with the certainty of long experience. Same breakfast every morning, same schedule, same everything. Changes upset him. What about supplements? Yvonne's eyes darted toward the kitchen. I notice you have quite a collection. Oh, those. Pink crept into Marla's cheeks. I take a few things for my own health. Turmeric for inflammation, some herbal tinctures for stress. Jordan only takes a children's multivitamin and vitamin D. His doctor recommended those years ago. Yvonne nodded. Mind if we take a look around? It helps us get a complete picture. Of course. Uncertainty flickered across Marla's face as she rose. Though I'm not sure what you're looking for. Just routine. Yvonne's reassurance rang hollow. Gavin, why don't you check the bathroom and Jordan's room? I'll look at the kitchen. The hallway narrowed as Gavin followed Marla. Inside the compact bathroom, a shower tub combination, toilet and pedestal sink huddled together in the limited space. Latex snapped against his wrists as he pulled on gloves and swung open the medicine cabinet. These are all of Jordan's medications? The orange Vascatril bottles stood at attention. Yes, I keep them organized by morning and evening doses. Marla indicated a plastic organizer. Jordan is very particular about taking them at exactly the same time each day. He sets alarms on his phone. Gavin's pen scratched across paper as he documented expiration dates and pill counts, everything aligned with Jordan's prescribed regimen. Can I see his room? Jordan's bedroom was a physical manifestation of order. Books stood in height formation on shelves, clothes hung in chromatic progression, and a desk displayed a laptop and notebooks in perfect right angles. Soft blue walls showcased framed posters of celestial bodies and scientific diagrams. He loves astronomy. Marla's fingers brushed a solar system poster with reverence. And music. He has playlists for everything, studying, sleeping, even one for taking his medication. A water bottle caught Gavin's attention on the nightstand. Does Jordan drink from this regularly? Yes, he fills it every morning and keeps it with him. He's very good about staying hydrated. Gavin extracted a sample tube from his bag. Do you mind if I take a small water sample? Just routine. Go ahead. Marla's eyes tracked his movements as he captured liquid in the tube. Is there something wrong with our water? Probably not, but we check everything. He sealed the sample with a decisive twist. How old is the plumbing in this house? I'm not sure. We've rented for 3 years. The landlord replaced some pipes in the kitchen last year, but I think the rest is original. Gavin's pen hovered above his notepad. And the pipes? Do you know what they're made of? Some are copper, I think. There's an access panel in Jordan's closet where you can see them. Clothes parted like theater curtains as Marla slid open the closet door, revealing a small wall panel. She knelt, unscrewing it to expose a section of piping. See, copper. Her finger pointed to reddish-brown metal. Is that important? Just gathering information. Gavin's phone camera clicked, capturing the old but intact pipes. Does Jordan ever complain about the water tasting strange? No, but he's particular about his water. He only drinks it filtered. A pitcher gleamed on the desk. That's his backup supply. He refills it from our kitchen filter. In the kitchen, Yvonne held an amber-filled bottle to the light, examining it like a jeweler with a suspicious gem. Homemade tinctures? She asked as Marla and Gavin entered. Yes, my sister makes them. She's studying herbalism. Discomfort radiated from Marla's posture. But like I said, those are just for me. What's in them? Gavin moved closer, curiosity piqued. Different things. That one's milk thistle for liver support. The dark one is black cohosh for my menstrual cramps. The greenish one is a blend for stress valerian, passion flower, and some other herbs. A mortar and pestle sat on a nearby shelf, surrounded by jars of dried plants and roots. Do you make any of these yourself? Sometimes. My sister taught me the basics. Marla's hand found a ceramic mug on the counter. I make Jordan herbal tea occasionally when he can't sleep, but it's just chamomile and lavender, nothing exotic. May I? Gavin gestured toward the botanical collection. Of course. His gloved fingers moved from jar to jar, reading labels for common herbs: chamomile, peppermint, echinacea, ginger root. Nothing unusual appeared until the final container. It was small, unlabeled, filled with reddish powder. What's this one? Confusion crossed Marla's face. I'm not sure. My sister dropped off some new herbs last month. That might be one of them. Yvonne materialized at Gavin's shoulder. Mind if we take a sample for identification? Just to be thorough. I suppose that's fine. Worry lines deepened between Marla's brows. But I don't see how it's relevant. Jordan doesn't use any of these. Probably isn't. Yvonne's casual tone couldn't mask her interest. But we check everything in cases like this. Powder scraped into a sample container as Yvonne continued her kitchen inspection. Your water filter. She pointed to a pitcher twin to the one in Jordan's room. How often do you change the cartridge? Every 2 months, like the instructions say. Marla revealed a box of replacement filters in an open cabinet. I mark it on the calendar. Yvonne's pen scratched across her notepad. And your supplements. Where do you purchase those? Mostly online. There's a natural health store I visit sometimes on Harford Road. Heritage Health? The words escaped Gavin before he could stop them. Surprise registered on Marla's face. Yes, that's the one. Do you know it? We've had a few cases involving supplements from there, Yvonne cut in, silencing Gavin with a glance. Some quality control issues. Oh, Marla's fingers fluttered to her throat. Should I stop using them? It's probably fine. Yvonne's tone contradicted her words. Just keep the packaging if you have it. Their inspection continued through the house cleaning products, refrigerator age, every detail noted. The basement revealed more copper pipes wearing green patina like aging jewelry. We don't come down here much. Marla's hand found the light switch, illuminating the unfinished space. Just for laundry. A workbench lurked in the corner, cluttered with tools and bottles. Is this your area? No, that belongs to the landlord. He stores some of his maintenance supplies here since he lives a few blocks away. Chemicals lined the bench drain cleaner, rust remover, pesticides, their warning labels glaring under Gavin's camera flash. Does your landlord do pest control himself? Sometimes. We had ants last spring, and he sprayed something. Marla hugged herself against an invisible chill. But Jordan never comes down here. He doesn't like the smell. Upstairs, Yvonne wrapped up her formal questions while Gavin cataloged final observations. Nothing screamed toxicity, no visible mold, no paint chips, no obvious contamination. The house stood modest but well maintained, with Marla clearly prioritizing Jordan's health. Just a few more questions. Yvonne balanced her tablet on one knee. Has Jordan ever experimented with recreational drugs or alcohol that you know of? Marla's expression hardened like setting concrete. Absolutely not. Jordan is very health conscious and rule following. He wouldn't even take Tylenol without asking me first. What about friends who might have access to substances? Jordan has a small circle of friends, mostly from his astronomy club. They're good kids, all on the spectrum like him. They play online games and talk about space. They're not partying or doing drugs. Yvonne nodded. And Jordan's relationship with his medication, has he ever expressed reluctance to take it or complained about side effects? He was nervous when we first started the Vascatril because of the potential side effects, but it worked so well for his migraines that he became very consistent with it. Marla's voice fractured around the edges. The doctors think his medication caused this, don't they? Gavin caught Yvonne's eye, but her professional mask remained fixed. We're exploring all possibilities, she said. The doctors are still running tests. But it doesn't make sense. Desperation edged into Marla's words. He's been taking the same dose for months with no problems. Why would it suddenly cause bleeding? That's what we're trying to figure out. Gavin softened his tone. Sometimes medications can interact with other factors, such as environmental exposures, dietary changes, even stress. Marla dabbed at her eyes. He has been stressed about college applications. His counselor thinks he has a good chance at a scholarship for astrophysics. As they prepared to leave, a small garden plot beyond the kitchen window caught Gavin's attention. "Do you grow your own herbs?" he asked. "Some basics: basil, mint, a little rosemary. Nothing exotic." Marla followed his gaze. "Jordan helps me tend it sometimes. It's good sensory therapy for him." Yvonne pressed her business card into Marla's palm. "If you think of anything else that might be relevant, please call me directly and keep us updated on any changes in Jordan's condition." "Of course." The card disappeared into Marla's tight grip. "When can I go back to the hospital?" "They only let me stay for short visits." "I'll note that you should have extended visitation." Yvonne's voice softened slightly. "Jordan needs his advocate." Outside, walking to the car, Gavin flipped through his notes. "Nothing obvious," he murmured. "Home seems clean, medication properly stored, no obvious toxins." "Except for that unlabeled powder and the sister who makes tinctures," Yvonne countered, keys jingling. "And the landlord's chemicals in the basement. But Jordan doesn't access those." "According to the mother." The engine growled to life. Parents don't always know everything their teenagers do, especially smart ones like Jordan. Gavin stared back at the house, picturing the meticulous bedroom, organized medications, and astronomy posters. He doesn't fit the profile of a kid who would experiment with substances. Maybe not intentionally. Pavement disappeared beneath their tires. But that doesn't rule out accidental exposure. Those copper pipes are old, and some of those herbal supplements aren't regulated. Should we flag anything specific for the doctors? The water sample, definitely. The unlabeled herb powder. And I want to know more about those tinctures the sister makes. Yvonne's fingers drummed against the steering wheel. Also, get the name of that landlord. I want to check if he has proper certification for handling pesticides. Gavin added these items to his growing list. As Baltimore's streets blurred past, he pictured Jordan's ordered universe: the color-coded closet, the precisely arranged desk, the ever-present water bottle. Something had violently disrupted that careful system, introducing a toxin powerful enough to cause catastrophic bleeding. "The filter," the realization burst from him. "What about it?" "Jordan drinks filtered water, but the mother said she changes the cartridge every 2 months. What if the filter itself is contaminated? Or what if it's removing something from the water that Jordan actually needs?" Yvonne's glance carried the first hint of approval Gavin had seen all day. "Not bad, intern. Add it to the list."